Well, a little bit of a difficult start to life in the Premier League then, and I'm afraid to say it doesn't get much easier because coming up is Manchester City away. They're only the reigning champions for the last 4 years. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on whenever you're watching this. My name is Harvey Bell, an Ipswich Town supporting content creator on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you do enjoy today's video, please do subscribe and leave a like on the video down below. Before we jump into today's video, if you want to jump down into the comments and leave your score predictions for Ipswich Town versus Manchester City, that would be absolutely grand. But that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. But to first understand how we are going to approach Manchester City, let's first talk about what we learned from Liverpool at home. Now, I think the overwhelming positive, as I spoke about in my instant reaction from the game, is the fact that actually we went toe-to-toe with Liverpool for 60 minutes. I thought we were superb. I thought we had the better of the chances in the first half. A couple of shots on target, very much restricted them. And I thought we looked really good. Albeit, 60 minutes in, of course, they score their opening goal through Diogo Jota, a player that's been prominent in the Premier League across the last couple of seasons, scoring goals, so you can't really be too hard done by about that. We then give Mo Salah a little bit of a gift. Davis sort of deflects the ball into his path and he puts them 2-0, and it's always going to be a bit of an uphill task from there. But ultimately, not going to criticise anyone too much because this was always going to be a difficult game. So the fact that we held them for 60 minutes, and I'd say in parts looked the better team, it's overwhelmingly positive, I think. And theoretically, if you look at it like this, if we can get to Saturday against Manchester City, do the same again, but take our chances in the first half and go another 30 minutes without conceding, we'll win the game. Sadly, it's not going to be as simple as that because, as I say, Manchester City, the reigning champions of England, they got off to a winning start at the weekend. They beat Chelsea 2-0 at Stamford Bridge, no less. Erling Haaland back to his usual self, scoring goals right from the get-go. Mateo Kovacic then scored from outside the box. And everywhere you look at that Manchester City team, there are supreme stars everywhere. Jack Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne, Kyle Walker, John Stones. That's just to name a few. Every single one of those players is worth at least 50, 60 million, if not more. So to ask Ipswich to get anything from this is going to be a monumental feat, but who's to say that it can't happen? I've got to say, I was impressed with the new players on Saturday. I really like Jacob Greaves at Saturday. I think he's going to grow into a terrific player. I think he's already a terrific player. He looked athletic, he looked dominant in the air, a really solid defender. So I'm excited to see how he copes against Erling Haaland. That'll be a really good battle, I think. Obviously, a good test for him to go up against one of the world's best. But ultimately, what I'd like to see from Ipswich on Saturday is to be strong, to be resilient as we were against Liverpool. Now, I think it's fair to say most Ipswich fans perhaps expecting the worst, expecting Town to lose, and albeit why wouldn't you be? Because ultimately Town have come up from League One 2 seasons in a row. All this time Manchester City have been winning trophies left, right and centre. So of course Manchester City are going to be favourites, but that does not mean that Ipswich Town aren't going to get anything from this game, because even if we don't get any points, what we can get is experience. And I spoke about this a couple of months ago. Our start was always going to be difficult, but at least there's no opportunity for a false dawn. Had we been playing Nottingham Forest or Brentford across these next couple of weeks and we had picked up points early, yes, good for confidence, but maybe that wouldn't be a true reflection of what we were in for this season. Whereas now, at least we're going up against the best very early on. We know what to expect, and that can help us when we do come to play the teams that you'd expect us to pick up points against, the likes of Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Leicester and Southampton. So yes, going to be difficult, but ultimately, as fans, we've got to enjoy it. We're going to be going to the reigning champions, which is exciting. This is going to be remembered as one of the best football teams of all time. So to be able to say that we've seen Ipswich play away there is going to be fantastic. So enjoy the occasion. But as well, football. It is football. There is nothing to say here that Ipswich Town are going to lose. I mean, of course, Manchester City, heavy favourites, but Manchester City are only human. they've lost games in the past. Not many across the last decade, of course. They've been very, very good. But they have lost games. Crystal Palace beat them at the Etihad not so long back. Andros Townsend with an amazing volley. Wolves did it not so long ago. So maybe, just maybe, Ipswich Town could do it. As I say, really impressed with some of the new players on Saturday against Liverpool. I was really impressed with Town for 60 minutes. But ultimately, whatever happens Saturday, I'd like to see us go on, be respectable, keep the scoreline respectable, but give a good account of ourselves, because we did that against Liverpool. We could have quite easily been in front against Liverpool going into half time, and we could do it again. We could do it again this Saturday. So why not go there, be fearless? Kieran McKenna. This is another point as well. Kieran McKenna has only ever learned from losing situations. If you want to jump right the way back to Bolton away, which was Kieran McKenna's first ever loss at Ipswich Town, we then bounced back and we won our games afterwards. Kieran McKenna learned so much more from a loss than he does a win. Of course, we'd rather win, whatever that means. We'd rather get the points on the board. We'd rather, you know, learn from winning situations. But you learn a lot by losing. You learn where you need to improve. You learn the areas where you need to improve. You learn what didn't work. You learn the partnerships. And I think that actually Liverpool are probably as close to Manchester City as you're going to get. So by having that, I suppose, lesson in the second half, you could call it, against Liverpool, does prepare us for Manchester City. So let's just see what happens. But ultimately, as I say, let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy the occasion and seeing Ipswich Town playing away at the champions of England. Not the champions of Europe anymore, but they were the season before. This is going to be a monumental occasion, and let's just hope for the best. There's no pressure, and that's the important thing to remember. There's no pressure on Ipswich Town here. There's no pressure on Ipswich this season, so we can just take it for what it is and enjoy seeing Town at these grounds. And you know, if you had said 2 years ago, "Are Ipswich Town going to be going to the Etihad?" people would have laughed at you. So we are here now. Let's enjoy it. Let's go into it completely open minded, because we did give Liverpool a good game, regardless of what people say. Yes, we dropped off in the second half. We did. We did drop off in the second half, but we were very strong for the first half. Let's see if we can replicate that against Manchester City, give them a good game for 60 or 70 minutes. That's what I would ultimately be delighted to see. Whatever the scoreline is, let's give them a good game for 60, 70 minutes and see what happens after that. Because if you can get to that point, maybe even keep it 0-0 to that point, then you don't know what happens in those last 20 minutes of the game. But then you at least come away thinking that we gave them a game for 70 minutes. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know down in the comments who you're going to be travelling with, because of course that's what makes football away days very special, is the people that you enjoy it with. So enjoy your days, enjoy your journeys up, safe travels, and let's enjoy it. Have a really good time, and come on you Blues!